A lache is a fundamental skill in Ninja Warrior and in parkour, in which you're swinging on a bar, flying off that bar, flying in the air, and usually catching something else, such as another bar. Not only is it essential for Ninja Warrior as well as parkour, it just looks cool and it feels cool when you're flying in the air. My goal today is to hit a 10-foot lache 3 times in a row, because at my skill level, that is an expected distance for me to be able to hit. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna break down for you how to do a basic lache, how to break it down in order to improve your lache, because while I'm doing it, either you're gonna be able to figure out what I'm doing wrong, or you're just gonna learn something new. But let's see if I can get this consistent 10-foot lache and teach you how to do a lache. The idea is you're going to be swinging on the bar, and then you're going to be letting go of the bar to fly out in the air and then catch another bar. What you need to do is just start to swing. Your goal is to kick your feet as far away from you as you can. The further away you are and the straighter your body is, the better, because it's acting like a pendulum. Eventually, you want to kick higher and higher. Think of an object tied to a rope. It will swing much faster the longer the rope is. You want to kick when you are past the middle. If you kick super early, it might feel like you're getting a lot of swing, but you're not. Your timing of when you kick is actually the same if you were on a swing set. Whenever you would kick on the swing set is about the same time you would kick on a lache. Now your goal is just to repeat this process until you have enough swing. In your forward swing, your feet should almost always be in front of you, and on your back swing, your feet should always be behind you. If it looks like this, you're doing something horribly wrong. While you're swinging, you want to re-grab your hands. If you keep swinging and you don't do anything, you will end up being on your fingertip and you're going to peel out. On your backswing, just fix your hand. And talking about peeling out, you shouldn't need to swing more than 3 to 4 times when you're first swinging. The more swings you do, the more your hands get tired, the more they get sweaty, and the higher chance in which you are actually gonna get off the bar. And you're not actually getting higher, which is the point of continuing to swing. So you don't need to be on there that long. And last is the throw. And note that I said throw, because if you just let go, you're just going to land on your back. The idea of the throw is it's creating more energy into your upper body to allow your chest to go up. This will allow you to land on your feet or have your hands in front of you for you in order to catch the next bar. In general, it is better to learn by throwing one hand at a time instead of 2 hands, as it's easier to understand the throw and it's useful in a lot more situations. There are some people that I train with that are amazing at 2-hand throws. It's just harder to understand. Your timing of when to let go is just like if you would jump off a swing. The later you jump, the higher you're gonna go and the least amount of distance you're going to travel. The earlier you let go, the more that you're gonna go straight down. So ideally, you want to be in a 45-degree angle. Just like if you wanted to throw a ball as far as you could, that angle. And if you're finding that you are struggling with the throw, you probably need to get used to this with less swing, because you might have a good swing or have too much power for your body to know what it needs to do. Once you start improving and get the hang of it, which should be very quickly, is when you can start adding a backswing. This saves a bunch of time and energy as you can get your max height easier. After you've done your forward swing and you're on your way back, your goal is to get your hips as high as you can. The 2 main techniques is a cannonball, in which as they swing back and their hips are getting up, they are driving your knees right into your chest. And then as you're going down, you extend your legs, kick at the bottom in order to do your forward swing. The other option is to just aim with your feet to get as high as you can, and at the bottom becomes more of a whip motion. This is better for people who are more flexible, or it's easier for them mentally to think about getting their feet as high as they can rather their hip. Those are the basics of a lache, and the more you practice it, the more efficient your swinging is going to be. But what I'm doing right now is not going to work at a 10-foot lache. So what happens if there is a lache that is too far for you right now? Well, we need to get better and improve each component of the lache. So what I'm going to do is break down those components, how to improve all of them, and hopefully I can hit this 10-foot lache. The 3 components that you need to get better at that controls your lache is your swing, your kick, and your throw. Let's start with the kick. You should be able to get your max swing in 1 swing. As long as your body is straight and your feet are as far away from the bar as possible, you can start bringing that higher and higher and higher and higher. In a perfect scenario, you'd be able to kick straight up and let that entire thing swing you backwards. This is to get better at timing on your kick. There should be a clear difference of when you're kicking to add add more swing, and when you're about to kick to go. Final backswing, you're cranking your feet back to get ready. Because just like a whip that creates a sonic boom at the end, you're trying to do something like that with your legs. As you create this U shape and you hit the bottom, those feet are supposed to snap and then swing forward. If you're doing this properly, you're gonna feel this certain drive, this woof, this oomph that has pushed you. The next thing to probably improve is your swinging. Most of the time, the forward swing is the easiest thing for you to understand if it's getting better or not. The higher your feet are, the more swing you're getting. What most people struggle or don't know how high they actually are going is on the backswing. Just like before, your goal is to get your hips as high as you can, whether you're doing the cannonball technique and then stretching out, or if you're doing the whip technique. Use your camera or some sort of replay app that will allow you to see how high you're actually getting. And a small tip is to make sure that you look down on your backswing instead of up. And the hardest one to fix and to kind of feel out is the throw. This is a component that the stronger you are, the better you're gonna be at this. As we talked about the basics, if you let go too early, you go straight. If you let go too late, you go straight up. So you want to look for that 45 arc. Most people let go of the bar way too early. Easiest way to fix it is practice just going as high as you can on a lache. The more you practice this, the better you're gonna get used to at letting go later, and you're gonna get better at your throw. Another way to get better at your throw is to do laches that you know you can normally do and do them with the least amount of kick and swing as you can. As you continuously practicing that, the feeling of how you should throw and how it feels to actually put effort and force into the throw is gonna get much, much better. The other problem is the further the lache that you are trying to do, sometimes your body doesn't know what it feels like to have that much power. So a great way in order to get better at laches and knowing how it feels to have more powers is to do something called a cast lache. This is where you get on the hips onto your bar and then you thrust your hips up, getting as high as you can, getting into as much as a handstand position as you can, and then doing your lache. Ideally, you should be doing one in which you feel like you are going to die a lot. So something soft is definitely mandatory for this. Your body is going to get more and more used to what it feels like to actually have that much swing. And the better you get at controlling it, you'll be better at controlling that amount of power and also feeling what it's like to be as high as possible. And you also feel what it's like to have a much higher backswing. Those are the main components in order to improve your lache, and it's time to move them onto the 10-foot bar. But I know I'm gonna be scared, even though I have everything I need in order to get it, and the only thing that's stopping me is my mind. So if you're stuck in a situation like me in which it's mental and no longer physical, here are the progressions that I'm gonna take in order to make sure I get that 10-foot lache. The easiest progression, tap the bar with your hand, knowing that you are going to land on the ground. This usually starts with one hand tap and then leads into a two-hand tap. At this point, most people would be ready to grab the bar. But if you're still missing a small mental step, you can start doing bar honk, honk honk. You're wrapping your hands around it, but you are still landing on the ground. The worst thing you can do is not putting enough to be able to grab the bar because you are scared. That means you have made the active choice not to grab the bar before you have let go off the bar for the lache. The best thing you can do is put the most amount of power and effort that you can, and then in the air, make that active decision to either grab the bar or not. Not putting enough never gives you the option to get onto the bar. After doing the basics of the lache, breaking it down between its components and improving all of those and going through all the mental barriers, when it was finally time to get to the 10-foot lache, all I needed to do was commit. Because I went through all the progress, it became as easy as 1, 2, and 3. I would love to see how far I could push it, but honestly, doing so many laches, especially for this video, my hands are wrecked, but I'm happy where I got, and I'm very curious on where it's gonna go. But are you gonna try to do a lache, or did you learn something new? Or do you have any other tips and tricks for anyone who wants to learn this skill? Put the comments down below. I would love to hear it. And if you have any flying in the air skills or any other awesome adventure skills, you can always hit me up on social media. And as you are flying out in the air, I will see you at the next adventure.